By now, everyone should have their W-2 forms in hand for that annual ritual of preparing one's tax return. Maybe no one's idea of fun, but there are some Vermont changes this time which could put more money in your pocket. This morning, we'll hear what's new. State Tax Commissioner Craig Beaulieu, welcome back to NBC5 In Depth.
My pleasure, Stuart. Thanks for having me.
Well, happy to have you. It's everyone's favorite time of year. And before we, sit down at our desks and at our computers to begin to prepare our federal and state tax returns, there are a lot of changes that really I imagine, would caution people to be mindful of before they get started.
Yeah, absolutely. There are a lot of Vermont-specific changes this year. There was a big tax reduction bill last year, Act 138, passed by the Vermont legislature and signed by the governor, that has a slew of different changes for Vermonters this year.
All right. Let's talk about the credits, first of all.
Yeah, sure. So there's a new child tax credit specific to Vermont. It's a $1,000 refundable tax credit for each child aged 5 or under. For taxpayers who have less than $125,000 of income, they can get a full credit, and anybody under $175,000 can get a partial credit. There was also an expansion to 2 tax credits for Vermont. The first is the Earned Income Tax Credit, where Vermont takes a share of the federal credit. That was expanded from 36% to 38% this year. And there was also a really big expansion of the Child Independent Care Tax Credit. We used to have 2 versions of that credit in Vermont, but most people got 24% of the credit, and now everybody's going to get 72% of the credit. And they're all fully refundable, and that's really important.
Explain what that means.
Yeah, absolutely. So fully refundable credits mean that if your credit exceeds your tax liability, you get that difference back in a refund. So say, for instance, your tax liability is $250, but you can claim the new child tax credit for 1 child, you would actually get a $750 refund back from the state.
So between those 3, I guess, there's some significant money available to a lot of filers this year.
That's right. I mean, the full package of Act 138 was $40 million in tax reduction. The largest portion of that is the child tax credit at over $30 million. And one thing I would note, especially with these refundable tax credits for folks, is that even those who may not have a filing requirement may wish to look at their qualifications for these credits, as it may be worth it for them to file to get a refund from the state, even if they don't normally file a Vermont tax return or don't normally have to file a Vermont tax return.
What about tax deductions that is new this year?
Yeah, absolutely. So Act 138, again, had some new deductions and also expanded deductions. So the first one is Vermont now has its own student loan interest deduction. This is a deduction that is also available federally, and that applies to Vermont taxes, but ours is more expansive than the federal government's. So the federal government has a $70,000 income cap for single filers, for $140,000 for joint filers, and it also has a cap on the amount of interest you can deduct. So anybody with more than $2,500 of student loan interest paid is capped at the federal level. The new Vermont deduction is for anybody at $120,000 or less of income, single, or $200,000 or less of income, joint, and you can deduct all the interest. So that's going to help folks in Vermont who are paying student loans that either are above the federal income caps or are paying more than $2,500 of student loan interest a year. Additionally, that bill expanded Vermont's Social Security exemption. So now filers up to $50,000 single or $65,000 joint can get a full exemption from their Social Security benefits for state income taxes, and that phases out over the next $10,000 of income as well. And the legislature also put in a deduction for civil service retirement income and military pensions up to the first $10,000 of each with those same income caps. So there's a lot of stuff coming for Vermont taxpayers this year and things that they should watch out for.
Boy, I'll say. Now, income, W-2s and similar forms that are reported to the IRS, those should all be in hand by now. I think those are due by the end of January. So most people should have all of their documents, but your guidance is don't start until you do, right?
That is the biggest tip that I have for folks. Yeah. And it's the number one reason that a tax return might get held up and a refund may not get issued as quickly as you hope is missing income. So if you have an extra W-2 or you change jobs throughout the year, or you're expecting a 1099 this year, you want to make sure that you have those all in hand. Let those all come in the mail before you file. My other big tip for folks filing is to file electronically if you can. Last year, folks who filed their returns electronically received their refund on average more than a month faster than those who mailed us a paper return.
What proportion of filers file using a paper form in the mail?
I'm happy to say that our electronic filing rate is over 90% now. We hit over 90%, I believe, in 2021, and we were able to maintain that last year. It's really been an amazing trend. If you look 20 years ago, those numbers were inverted. We were getting about 10% electronic. So now to be over 90%, I give my thanks to Vermonters who are doing that. It's a big help for us. It's also a big help to them to get their refunds faster.
Most people use commercial software like TurboTax?
That's right, yes.
But that's not free. There are free electronic options?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so glad you asked that, because many people in the state qualify for free filing software, but they don't know it. So we actually have info on our website. The IRS has info as well, but at tax.vermont.gov, you can search for Free File on our website. It's a program that commercial software vendors and the IRS partner together on to allow folks who are under certain income limits, and those limits vary by vendor. But generally, if it's between $60,000 and $70,000 of income in a year, you may qualify for free filing software through this program. But you have to go to our website and click the link through on our website. So I encourage anybody who thinks that they might qualify or are unsure if they qualify to check it out.
Let me ask you, it's no secret that during the pandemic, Vermont real estate got a lot more expensive, and a lot of towns are going to have to reappraise. I'm wondering how that might impact property tax rebates, which you need to file for during the process of filing your annual income tax. Are we looking at upheaval going forward?
So, I mean, that's a big question, Stuart, one that the legislature is debating right now about what to do. But I can say that about 2/3 of Vermont homeowners do get a property tax credit, right? So that means that they pay their property taxes based on income instead of based on property, or I should say, pay it at least a portion of it based on income rather than property. And those filings should be coming in with the personal income tax filings this spring. They're part of the homestead declaration. And so again, if folks are unsure if they qualify, they should check out the information on our website. And we're standing by to help if folks have questions as well.
Well, apologies for the stream of sunshine coming through the window, but one last question. Identity theft was a big concern not many years ago. Is it still showing up where you'd file your tax return and discover that someone has already used your identity and claimed your refund?
Yeah, great question always, Stuart. So identity theft in the world of taxes is always going to be a risk. I am happy to say that over the last several years, we have seen a downward trend on this. Now, it's interesting because we also see new schemes from fraudsters, but I really think there's a couple of elements going on behind the scenes there. The first is that the state of Vermont and any state agency and the IRS have more data than they've ever had before, right? So it is harder to do this than it used to be. The other element that I think provides some benefit for our state is we have been particularly vigilant about this problem in Vermont. It has been very difficult to get identity theft returns through Vermont. And so my hope is that the folks who are inclined to commit this kind of crime steer clear of Vermont because they recognize the challenges that they're going to face if they try to do that. However, every year we get some attempts. I'm happy to say that we're able to stop the vast, vast, vast majority of them, and we are seeing a downward trend in this area.
Craig Beaulieu, the Commissioner of Tax, thanks for being with us.
Hey, thank you so much for having me, Stuart.
The deadline to file this year, April 18th, but why wait?